How's it going, everybody? Cable Guy Ken. I hope you can hear me. I found a spot that didn't really have a lot of wind hitting it. The wind's blowing, fairly decent around me, but not so much right here where I'm at. Welcome to what's going to be my new home for a while. No, I hadn't been kicked out of my trailer. Just a guy that I work with, he lives 3 or 4 houses over at me, and his family owned all this land. Now, they sold a good chunk of it to logging. So there's logging roads and stuff like that back here, and I got permission from him to use it. It's about 30 minutes away from my house. I say about because I just kind of did the knuckle method to see how much sunlight was above the horizon before I left the house, and then how much sunlight was above the horizon when I got here. I didn't check the time when I left and didn't check it when I got here. I do have my phone with me, and it has my GPS and all that on it, so I know I'm about 50 yards from a small pond over here to my left. The camera's right, my left, and then about 120, 130 yards straight to, from where I'm sitting right now, would be about northeast, but is actually about southwest by the compass. I've got a larger pond with a small tributary pond beside it that's fed from a stream, and there's a stream that ain't about maybe 2 foot wide that runs down through all this and branches off in a Y that feeds both ponds, and that stream comes up off of Black Creek, I do believe. I'm not positive, but I believe it's Black Creek. You could probably still hear a truck go by every now and then because the highway's probably about 100 yards yonder way. And then the road that I live on is probably another 150, 250 yards that way. I say about because, it's kind of hard to tell how far what you are away from things when you walk in like I did. I did take a bearing of where my house was when I was leaving, and, the general direction of where I was going. I did kind of draw a simple map in my head, not on a piece of paper, but in my head, of where I was going. And like I said, there is a road that leads, the logging trucks were using it and the hunters use it to come back here. There's a clearing field over yonder where they've clear cut some timber, and there's a couple of deer stands and stuff up there, and then the road is not more than 25 yards over there. So I know if I get on that road, regardless of time of day or anything else, I can follow that road around to the road that leads to my neighbor's house, and from there I can get home. So this is really a great location for me. Like I said, I walked for about 30 minutes roughly. Just some of that was wandering around looking where I was going and all, but hopefully I found a good personal space. I've got 2 trees right here that's far enough apart and big enough around that I can string my hammock, my tarp, and stuff like that. There's plenty of spots around here to build a shelter fairly quickly with limited calories used, as in trees, that are partially over. There's one right behind the camera I'll show you here shortly that, well, it's kind of downhill, so I don't really want to put it there. But there's enough resources here to build me a shelter and all for my phase 1 of the Pathfinder training and all, so I'm going to get started on that finally. But let me pause the video, or better yet, tell you what, we're going to end this video right here, just letting you see this is just kind of, an introduction to my personal space as it is right now. There'll be some changes as I get going. So I appreciate everybody watching. This is just kind of short and sweet, but I got a couple of gear reviews, 2-3 little reviews I wanted to do real quick, and I want to get started on them before my batteries die. So appreciate everybody watching. Look forward to my videos coming up. Should have 2-3 videos popping out here real quick, and then I'll do a video on the way out of some of the surroundings and stuff like that, and show you what I've got, or what I'm working with, and that'll be it then. Alright guys, I ain't got but about 5.5 minutes of video time left. Here's a little road that I come in on. There's over yonder is about where I was sitting, and the pond is straight through that clove of trees there. I said it's probably about no more than 50 yards at the most. So I'm gonna walk on out of here now. I've had me a little bite to eat. I'll post pictures of that and all. on my my little video there. This road goes straight on back to another house. I go here to the left and you'll see a deer stand blind right there. Well, really it's just a blind because there's trees directly in front of it, but they use it for a deer stand as well. And they got corns thrown all out in the woods over here where they was shooting over the pile. It ain't but, I don't know, maybe 50 feet, 100 feet at the most. Kind of hard to remember, but I'm gonna get to walking on here and I'll get back with y'all here in just a few. Alright guys, I'm about to my little spot here, my house. You can see her, I don't know if you can make it out in the video or not. There's my neighbors, the back of their houses. There's a little puddle yonder. I mean, the water's muddy, but if you had to drink it, you can drink it. There's a bigger puddle down here that looks like at one time, if it rains good, it could be a decent sized little pond, or just an oversized puddle, whatever you want to call it. And all this is open field, plenty of fire tinder right here. Plenty of fire tinder and mat material. It's a little bit short for my big butt, but I could weave it side by side good enough. And stop so y'all can see that good. That I could grab enough of that and weave it side by side and make me a decent little mat to lay on for my shelter when I start building it. Of course, I'm gonna have to check myself head to toe with magnifying glass and a bright light for ticks, but you know, when you're out in the woods, that's what you got to worry about. I found two on me. One bit me on my arm. First time I ever felt a tick biting. I felt something stinging and I looked down and there he was getting ready to go to town on Cable Guy's arm. We can't have that. Ain't one person allowed to nibble on this body. So, like I said, I can't get lost going back there, y'all. There's plenty of roads marked to get me there and back. And all I got to do is look up in the air for the power pole that goes back to the old trailer that sits back yonder. And if I follow it, it'll get me right back to where I come in at. I'm going to try to show you a little bit of that. Because I'm going to tell you, it took some getting to get in here. So there's the big mud puddle there. I said the water's muddy, but it could be filtered and drunk and boiled, of course. I'll try to show you some of how I had to get through to get in here. So there's a barbed wire fence further on down, but here's part of a little drain ditch that goes back there to that puddle I was talking about. And before the landlord piled all this wood here, I could just walk straight on through. Now he's piled all that wood yonder, and I ain't gonna try to climb through all that. Of course, that's where I get a lot of my firewood for the grill and stuff like that. There's a lot of oak in there. But what I've been doing is coming right through here, stepping across this little ditch. And if I bring me a machete back, it'll make me going a lot easier. I just come through with the Pathfinder knife earlier and cleared out some of the bigger briars. You can see I got a mess, but this accounts for most of the woods here in South Carolina. They like this. So I got to get through there, y'all, and going around that way. So I'm gonna cut this off, and I'll be with y'all again shortly. Alright? Well, actually I'm running out of video, so we'll catch you in the next one.